Good morning and welcome to another fun-filled week in Kansas. Our friend Bailey called us last week and we came to help her finish up a bus that she purchased. It was started by someone else and they were a first-time builder, and we're experiencing a lot of things that happen when you're a first-time builder and you do things the residential way. So we're going back and taking out those items and building it back right. Yo, hang on, this week's gonna be fun. All right, and here's the bus. So this one, like I said, was started by someone else. So there's a lot of things done in creative ways. Like the exterior paint is residential house paint. This is a fiberglass bus, so it's a shuttle bus. This particular one doesn't have a steel rib cage in it. It is all fiberglass. So a lot of what we have been working on is stabilizing that, because if any of you have ever been in one of these buses, when it functions, there's these steel poles that go up to the roof and they're to hold on to. And this was a handicap bus, so there was anchor points throughout the bus. But when all that's removed, what's left is just this fiberglass dome, and without support it falls in. So I've erected this very elaborate setup here as a rib cage to recreate that metal structure that is in the bus originally. And we're going to be building a small home in here. One of my first priorities is getting this thing watertight. So when I originally came in, there was sheetrock covering all these windows, and that's just not the right wall covering for these buses. They pull in way too much moisture for sheetrock. That's a residential surface. But either way, once I got the sheetrock out, I discovered that these windows were leaking. And as you can see here, I've been replacing the hardware in them. These are clamp style windows, so there's a locking ring, and all those screws have to be in it in order for the locking ring to work, or else the outside of the bus, when it vibrates and shifts, it loses seal and you get leaks. So I've got to remove all of the goop that has been placed over these, and we're going to be building window coverings versus covering the window, because you never know when you're going to have to take one out. No reason to bury it. Well, for any of you who've been watching us for years, that means you've been building buses with me for years too. And honestly, you're bound to start seeing ideas repeating. And that's what we got here. If any of you remember Carlos's bus, it was very important to that bus owner that the windows be maintainable, and his insistence upon that has really resonated with me with all of my other projects since then. It's really important to be able to replace these things if, you know, a lawnmower were to sling a rock in the side of it, because you can't control that stuff. So what is happening here is, it's just that easy to remove. You can make it cute, you can make it lightweight. That way it looks less like a bus window and more like a residential. You can't win it all, but you can make something beautiful. Still moving forward. Good morning, y'all, and welcome to another fun-filled day of bus building. I continue my process of adding cabinets into this bedroom area. My goal is to get as much storage into this thing as possible. We're not really looking for anything but storage and functionality. Y'all hang on. I have supplies coming. Today it should look very different by the end. Well, y'all check it out. I'm liking this. I'm standing in the middle of the bed, apparently. I'll stand on this side of the doorway. So all of this is going to be cabinets. And then a retaining wall here. More cabinets. More storage. We have a water heater under here, batteries, and a lot of water tank. Whew. I'm gonna need a shoehorn to get it all in here.
Well, guys, we're taking a little bit of a break from bus building this morning as we head into town to take care of some things. And unfortunately, all of that rain last night made mud, which means we're having a little bit of a hard time getting out of here and leaving some traces behind that we're not too happy about. Shane's got the tires all aired down though, and hopefully we're gonna be able to get out of here. Sorry about your yard, Ninja.
I know a guy that can fix it.
Holy crap. I'd say we sunk a little.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, guys, we got all of our supplies in town. Unfortunately, we are going to have to leave again in the morning so that I can go back to a dentist. In order to make that a little bit easier on ourselves, we went ahead and parked a little closer to the road this evening in hopes that we do not get stuck like we did this morning. I think Shane's going to spend the rest of his afternoon seeing if he can make that a little bit better. We definitely didn't mean to do that, y'all. That'll work. What you got there, Shane?
Oh, responsibilities, Kelsey. We got tags, a driver's license. I've been driving around this country with an expired driver's license for a little bit too long. That's what they told me at Walmart today.
Yeah, but that's not the important part of this package.
It's not. We are joining the future, Kelsey. We're getting wired. The Love Hut is gonna be a Wi-Fi emitting home.
So guys, as we speak, it is Monday and our Sunday video has not come out yet, and all of you are waiting for it. And this right here is going to once and for all fix that problem.
And it's so tiny too. There's two options. This one you can take anywhere with you, and this one will be wired into the Love Hut, so it emits its own Wi-Fi signal. Isn't that cool?
Let's see how it works. I'm so excited. Ew. Those skies are not looking pretty. And we are somewhere that we really need to be.
Well, I have some good news. The bad news is we got to go to the dentist so you can get your tooth pulled. But the good news is Bailey has let us borrow her car, so we don't have to drive to the Love Hut in this. There's going to be like 25-mile-an-hour winds today, Kelsey.
Very convenient. She's too good to us.
I agree. There's a reason I drive trucks, Kelsey. I'm not cut for these things. I used to be. Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm not gonna lie, over the past 48 hours, there hasn't been too much to record, and I've honestly done a bad job of recording what little there was. Between bad weather and Kelsey having to have some dental work done, we've lived a pretty unadventurous life. But you know what? It's time to get back to it, y'all. The bus calls me. Let's see if we can get some more done. If y'all hadn't figured it out by this point, the point of this bus is to get it livable with spending as little as possible. So we're not necessarily doing every step that you do in every bus conversion. One of the things we have to take care of, though, is this window or this emergency exit up here has been leaking for quite a while due to the sagging roof. It was basically just pooling water all around it and coming in. And because of that, all that water's got to go somewhere, and of course that's the floor. So this here is the handicap chair rail, and there's two different types. There's some like these with the little proprietary clamping devices, and this one is more of a channel. This is welded to and bolted to a frame rail that runs the length of the bus. So the plywood dead stops here, and then there is a larger steel beam underneath this that all this screws to. Well, the problem is with all this moisture in the wood, it bowed, and it created quite a rise in the floor. The previous converter decided to just smear glue all over the floor, throw down some linoleum flooring, and then nail that down. But that was not the answer to the problem. So I'm having to battle all of the adhesive, because general purpose adhesive just doesn't really have a place in a bus. And I'm using a series of hardware to try to pull this bow down and actually touch the steel beam underneath here again, in hopes that we can get a nice floor, because really this is the only floor in the whole bus, is basically where the space is available. So I got to make this right. Everything else is going to be covered in something. Hello, Kelsey.
Hello, Shane. How's it going in here?
It's going. I'm working on the couch. Doesn't it look like a couch? Do you see the couch, Kelsey?
I totally see the couch, babe.
There's a shelf now, too. Look how strong it is.
Nice.
Not bad for not being able to connect to anything in this thing. Good Lord. This is a puzzle.
A puzzle I have no doubt you will figure out, though.
All in good time, my tiny friend.
Oh, the bedroom looks almost done.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? I think I'm going to smack this thing on the butt and call it good for the day. I did manage to get my seating area dry fit in. Obviously, it's built overhung, so I can trim it down and build a countertop attached to all of that. I also managed to get the shelving up top. As I was talking about earlier, all of the shelving is quite challenging. This thing is really the only bracing that we have anywhere above the windows. So everything else is eventually braced back below or braced to itself. It's quite challenging. This couch is definitely going to have this drum underneath it, but you know, we're seeing how it looks first. It'll look different tomorrow, y'all. I promise. Oh, good morning, y'all. I'm back in the sawdust factory. As you saw yesterday, I started dry fitting this couch, which is also going to be housing that water tank out there. I do believe we're going to try to fit another tank under here. We got to find how much space we're going to have. All of this that I'm building is still dry fit, so I still have a lot of joints that I'm going to go back and glue. But I like to make sure everything fits together before it's glued. Because in the past, I have glued things that I should not have glued, and I had to go backwards. So, you know, you live and learn. But that glue up there is no joke, y'all. It will hold. Let's get some more done today. I'm ready to see this thing. I'm getting better at it. That sun is closer to the horizon. I'm still not to the point of working all day yet. Maybe I just won't ever be again. That'd be great. I did get a lot done today. I cleaned the floor today. I stabilized the couch, got the angle set for the back of it. These 2 pieces of plywood remove quite easily, and it will gain us access to all of our water tank and our water pump and everything. So they're operating as a cover. This is going to be the size of our stove. This is dry fit. I'm not quite happy with the fitment of all this wood. I made a wrong corner there, so I have to rebuild that tomorrow. But I do believe that was part of me being tired for today. I also worked on hiding all of this wiring that ran across this doorway, as well as this super ugly corner post, which will eventually turn into a door right here, and this will be a wall. Still moving, y'all. We'll do some more moving tomorrow. What y'all think? Am I gonna finish this bus this week? Good morning, y'all. You can guess it, I'm back at it. I had a bit of a malfunction last night when I went to close everything up. I spent a fair amount of time building this whole junction here, which there's a lot of crazy cuts in there, and we're not quite finished with it. You'll see the end product soon. But I digress. I had built it and did not account for the swinging door mechanism. This bus features an electric one, so the bus has to be on, and this mechanism up here closes it, but it has a traveling arm. And as you can see, I had some interference there. It's the little things you never think about that really cause a big problem in building these buses. Let's see what new problems we can find today. I bet there's some hiding in here somewhere. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is the end of the day. It's also the end of the week. This bus ain't finished. But that's okay. I've had a really good week working on this bus. It has been quite the learning experience. And honestly, it's been quite heart-touching doing this. For any of you that don't know how I ended up building buses and cargo trailers and vans for people, is because we hit the road and we became nomads. And we didn't even know nomads were a thing, but we got out and we started meeting them, and I started meeting people that had hired others to build for them. And I started seeing the repercussions of hiring someone that has no idea how to build the way you have to build to be able to live inside of a vehicle. Just because you can work on a residential structure doesn't mean you know how to do this. It doesn't mean that you don't either. I'm happy that Bailey knows me and was able to contact me, and that we were weirdly close to her and had time to come help her, because we're going to make this a beautiful home for her. Y'all make sure you come back next week and see just what I do with this thing, because I got a lot left to do. See y'all then.